We'll do a meltdown, yeah. Should we do a poll first, though?
I'll get an update after the meltdown.
Do an update. After this, OK, let's have a meltdown then. We've still got to talk to Ryan Bridge, by the way, who's coming up soon, and Siobhan White, who was also at the March rally for Unite the Kingdom at the weekend. Let's talk, though, about the European Union, shall we? Because in the last few days, we've had Wes Streeting and Andy Burnham talk about the European Union. Should we have a look at what Wes Streeting had to say?
But at the core are three big, important choices we have to make as a country that can help us regain our sense of progress. First, leaving the European Union was a catastrophic mistake. The Vote Leave campaign deluded itself into thinking that the UK could forge a global free trade nirvana, as though we still had the East India Company at our disposal.
So Wes Streeting thinks it was a mistake to leave the European Union, which presumably means he thought it was a mistake that people voted to leave the European Union. Well, I've got some bad news for you, Mr. Streeting. You might be a Remainer. You might think the European Union's great. Like Keir Starmer, you might wish to have closer ties to Europe. You might think that being in the European Union was better than not being in the European Union. Well, I've got some more bad news for you, because the people in Europe would also not like to be in the European Union. In Italy, in France, in Spain, in Germany, there are growing numbers of people who wish they'd done what we did in 2016, which was to vote to leave the European Union. And if you wanted any proof that the European Union is run badly or is in fact not a good place to be, look no further than the way that Keir Starmer's been operating in the past few months, popping over to see Ursula von der Leyen at one of the many international summits of the Coalition of the Willing. And she said, yeah, you can come back into the single market. You can have access to the markets that we want you to have access to, but we'll tell you exactly how to do that, and we'll tell you how much you have to pay to do that. And first of all, it'll be £1 million up front, £1 billion rather, up front, for which you will get nothing. All you will be doing is subsidising the poorer members of the European Union. And what else you'll be doing? You'll be making it even easier for people to come here from the European Union to live. We've already got plenty of people living here from the European Union, and we've also got plenty of people moving here from other parts of the world via the European Union. So, what's great about the European Union? You might well ask. Well, nothing really. There's nothing wrong with Europe. There's nothing wrong with going to France. France is a great country. Nothing wrong with going to Italy. Also a great country. Nothing wrong with going to any European country. And by the way, you still can. It's not any more difficult. The only reason that some European countries are making it difficult is because they want to. The only reason that some countries are making it more delayed for you to come through their airports is because they want to. They don't have to, right? They're still jealous of the fact that we left the European Union. The European Union as an entity is a busted flush. You know as well as I do, it has never, ever had its accounts properly audited. Not since its inception in the 1970s. It started out as a trading bloc. It is now what can only be described as an overbearing, oversensitive, very expensive operation, which doesn't really do anything for anybody, apart from the people that work for it. So I think this country will revolt against Wes Streeting's idea of rejoining the European Union. I think it will also revolt against Andy Burnham's suggestion that we should rejoin the European Union. Even he's revolting against his own suggestion because he's already backtracking, because he knows it's a mistake. Because more than 60% of the people in the constituency that he would like to become an MP for, right, Makerfield, voted to leave. They still want to be outside of it. They don't want to be in it. We do not want to be back inside the European Union. Everybody knows that. Even the people who are sensible enough to have voted Remain, but who have now forgotten about it all. They don't want to go through that again. They just don't. Lisa and Andy and I had a very funny conversation about it once, and even she couldn't work it out. This was in the dark days of 2019. We might find that clip one day and play it back to you. But here's the bottom line. Nobody wants to rejoin the European Union. And if Keir Starmer and Wes Streeting and Andy Burnham think that we do, then let them. Let them have a second referendum and we'll win it again. And they can all have then a general election and be kicked out of government, because that's what we deserve to have them do. That's my meltdown for today. Coming up to 9:33, so many of you getting in touch. We were going to do a poll update as well, weren't we? Should we do a poll update? Earlier on this morning, I said we weren't doing a poll because people got so fed up on Friday about the poll that we did, and they complained so much that we made a categoric decision not to have one. So then you all said, where's the poll? So we decided to do a poll. So we did a poll on when should we have a poll. Should we have one today, tomorrow, next Monday, or never? 13%, it's gone up never, right? Next Monday, 7%. That's the current loser. 19% tomorrow, 62% today. So you've won. And there it is. The poll today is, should we have a poll?
You serve. And stepping into civilian life isn't always simple. That's why we stand shoulder to shoulder with Britain's finest and with the families who stood by them. We Served is a secure, trusted community platform, bringing veterans, service leavers and military families together in one place. A place to find meaningful employment, access training and development, navigate healthcare and well-being, and unlock exclusive offers, all within a protected veteran community. It's why thousands of veterans are joining We Served to strengthen connection, share support, and look after their own. And the great news is that now up to 5 members of a veteran's family can also join the We Serve platform. Because when veterans support veterans, everything changes. We Serve. Life after service sorted. Join the movement.